Hey everyone, it's Kelly here. I just finished a video and there was a part that I didn't put on, and I thought, oh, I won't worry about it, something I forgot to lead into. And then I opened my phone and I read in two other places about how people were having trouble with this exact same thing that I was going to mention. And then I'm kind of saying to my higher self, okay, I think I need to. And I'm just being guided just to touch on it a little bit, not to go all on about it, because again, it depends on the energy we project out with the situation, and how we fall straight into that timeline bubble of that, and we create that if we're not careful. So what I just wanted to talk about and what I'm discussing is it's more about, I just finished a video on our soul and purpose and mission, but actually like where people don't understand that everyone's here at a different soul level for different things, and you can go and check that one out if you would like to. But what I wanted to also say is that I had been reading in quite a few areas, pardon me, that people were having a little trouble when they are trying to really step into their sovereignty and their soul of who they are, and know that, okay, well, I know I'm here for that now, so I'm ready to hop on my path and start taking that path now. And more so just about the love. So what they're showing me is that there is still a lot of, or no, I won't say that. There still can be outside interference with certain people. So it could be family, could be friends, could be if you're in a relationship and you're trying to get out of it because, or I won't use the word trying because you just can, but it's about it's how if you're struggling or if you're unsure how to go about that. So whatever your situation is, when you're like, oh, okay, I know what this is now. And often we get friends that really get in our ears and go, oh, don't be silly, you're not going to do that, are you? Or might put down the person that, it depends what the scenario is. But what I'm trying to say is, whatever the scenario is, you're going to get people butting in with their opinions, and 9 times out of 10 it'll be for their own reasons. So they may not want you to leave and walk away from a situation because they might miss you, or you might be moving areas, so or moving countries or moving places. And then, if you've made friends in those places, they don't want you to go, so they're kind of manipulating and trying to control things and trying to veer you off because they want you to stay for their needs. If you're in relationships, it could be because you're filling the needs and voids and insecurities, basically filling the cup of the person you're in a relationship with, and they don't want to face their darkness and their shadow work, and they don't want to face all that stuff, so they just use that person for their comfort, and it's comfortable, and it's just, we'll just settle. Whatever the situation is, it could be that you want to take a new career, or that's a new career path, or that the job you're in is not for you because your path is over here. The person you're with is not for you because you're here to be with someone else. Whatever the case is, and you could have parents in your ear saying, oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you should stay there, or you should stay this, whatever it is. And the reason I'm giving all these scenarios is because I've kind of been reading about different scenarios. And for me, it's sort of quite interesting because I feel like I'm not connected to any of that drama or trauma or chaos or anything, because I've been on my path for a long time, and I may have had to do more intensive inner work and deeper self-love, and to hit those the value and worthiness of myself, and all of that sort of thing. But I have kind of known for several years that I'm guided by my intuition, my spirits, my crew, that I have, my spiritual crew. I've known my path and what I'm here for, and it's taken me a while, yes, to be able to fully step into that from my own insecurities and fears and things, but it's not like I didn't know what it was. So for me, I haven't been in any relationships for years, because I devoted myself to this sacred path with my twin flame, and I just, it just didn't feel right to me. And I already knew the love of my life, already knew who I'm connected to. I already knew that it was about me going inside and doing the work deeper and stuff like that. So I didn't need to sort of be in relationships, and I know some people do, to grow and and stuff like that, but I kind of didn't have any of those insecurities where I needed somebody else to help me with that. But other people do, and there's other things that other people don't need that I was using as my cup fillers, you could say. So but what I'm trying to say is, I kind of didn't realize until I was reading some of this stuff that, and then I had some people around me, just through hearing about some people and stuff that are going through, they're going through this part of stepping into their sovereignty and really on their path finally, and with their connected one, or really going towards that. And their karmic partners or their friends or their family or best friend or whoever the case may be is kind of just really interfering and making it difficult and being, manipulative and controlling and trying to put a whole lot of hate and guilt and shame onto the person, and just really being, awful. And so, and this is what a lot of you already know, that this is the dark, feminine karmic that has been shut down. So we really are, the bigger picture here is what we're doing, in terms of the collective consciousness, in terms of breaking down and getting rid of all the old slavery template, coming into that unconditional love, into the new template, new earth. And that's all, that's all we want, new earth, and it's about bringing that love through. And some of us are here for different missions and purposes and things like that, as I discussed in my last video. And I think it's just, a bit of a shout out to those people that, all sorts. So if you're on that type of path yourself listening to this, or if you're in a situation where somebody else is, their path somewhere else, to just really start to look at yourself and not be that person to really stop that flow. So, and I say this because I'm seeing people around me, sort of distantly, and through other people that I may talk to, and coaches and things like that is what I'm talking about. So yeah, there's a lot going on out there. We are collapsing this whole old slavery template and the whole masculine condition template and everything. So there is so much going on. And but I guess my message again to those that have really stepped up and know now and following their heart and soul, and know that where their path is, or who they should be with, or, and when I say should, I mean who they know in their heart and all that. I guess, what I want to say is that to just really be aware of the people around you. If you're asking for advice, firstly, you shouldn't really be asking for advice, because you go inside, it's in here. So just really be guided by your intuition. There's a lot of divine help and intervention at the moment that can help you and assist if you just listen to your guides and listen to yourself and connect in here and listen to your heart. That's the main thing. Listen to your soul, and just do what's right for you. Do what's right for you, and just be awakened and aware to those around you that may be trying to push you off path. I'm not saying they're doing it deliberately. 9 times out of 10, people always do it in our life because they're trying to fill their own needs and voids, and they're in fear of different things, and they don't want that to they don't want change, or they don't want to lose you, or they don't, whatever the case may be. And usually that will be because they're operating from a lower vibrational frequency themselves, of not having done their inner work and healing, and so they're carrying wounds themselves, and these wounds, obviously they're still part of that old conditioned template where they're playing out with that conditioned love, and energetically, because we're all energy and everything's energy, so energetically that's what happens, and they make us feel guilty or shameful or unworthy, or with any sort of things. It could be like, oh well, that person wouldn't want you, so don't go to them, or he or she's not going to have you, or you're no good at that, so what, don't go for that job, or oh no, if you think you're here for that path, as if you can do that, or I came through a lot of stuff like that from years ago, not recently, and I went through a lot of that. I went through people trying to tell me, who I could be with or couldn't be with, in terms of like, as in my twin flame, like trying to tell me and lead me a different way, and all this sort of stuff. But also just even with jobs, and it was because I allowed it. My worthiness was low. I didn't have that value. I didn't feel that I didn't value myself enough, and I didn't have that confidence in myself, all sorts of things, and that had stemmed from a child. So there's lots of reasons why we will allow others to, get in our ear and then think, oh, okay, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I'll go this way. Maybe I'll go that way. Maybe I'll do what they say. And this is something that, happens a lot. It does happen a lot. And we live in a world where there's still a lot of people that are unawakened and living from these old conditioned paradigms and programming of fear, and that fear creates the conditioned pattern of wanting to hold on and control people, or manipulating the energy, or saying this or that. And what happens is nobody likes to be shown their darkness. So if they're not ready to work on that, if they're not ready to go in, so what they'll do is everybody will always have that defense response. So if you're trying to help somebody, or if you even sit down and try and have a proper nice conversation with them and say, look, this is how it is, and I know you see it differently, and whatever the case may be, this is not working or whatever anymore, and I'm going to do this, and what'll happen is we can't always expect, because we're in that calm space, and we always want to hope that people will understand and say, yeah, okay, that's your life, that's what you want to do, that's how you feel, go for it. But sadly that's not always the case, because what happens is people straight away, they get defensive because they fear change, and they fear of losing something or losing a person, and so, or and in lots of ways people will say, oh no, I'm only trying to protect you, or I'm only trying to watch out for you, or I've got your back, or I'm only trying to, and that's a load of BS. It's a total load of BS. So, and that's how we've been programmed, to actually be taught that, oh, but that's okay because they're only protecting you. What they're doing is they're protecting themselves. That everyone will do, and I've been guilty of this too. I'm not, pointing fingers, I'm just helping. But we've all been guilty of that, because that's the programming that we've been raised with, okay, and conditioned with through generation upon generation upon generation. And so we're here, as we know, to really clear out all that old ancestry patterns and cycles and timelines. That paradigm is gone. So, but there will be still people out there that haven't ascended or haven't evolved or awakened and started doing their work, and so they will still project their shit onto you, basically. And this is what's happening. And they may even get nasty. They may get manipulative. They may just, a dear friend of mine at the moment, who I will not go into mentioning, has been going through some of this. And although we know that things are happening for us, not to us, because what happens is you look at it from a higher perspective and you think, okay, what's this person still in my life to teach me? Am I not standing up for myself enough? Am I not really stepping into my sovereignty or my soul and who I am? Am I not, do I still, have they found a weak spot where I have not loved myself enough in that area, and all of a sudden I'm going to cave into this person because they're pushing my buttons or whatever it may be. So we do have to look at it from a higher perspective, and that's definitely what's playing out, because if you are 100% in your own worth and self-love and respect and honor of yourself, then you will step away from a situation and you won't allow that person. You can't expect that person to necessarily change what they're doing because they're still in, fight mode, flight or fight. I call it. They're still in fight mode, and so you can't change them, but what you can do is change the energy. And as soon as you surrender, as soon as you go with what you know is right with you and you surrender to the rest, the energy will change. And sometimes it can be a nasty situation, and sometimes people will try and threaten you with something or whatever it is, and I'm only saying this because I've seen this around me at the moment, and with a dear friend. And so, but again, like, soon as you flip that energy, it completely dissolves, and that's what's happened, and you see it happen. So I guess, again, my message is to take away from this is that we don't like to see anybody trying to control anybody or manipulate somebody for their own needs, their own wants, desires, insecurities, fears, whatever it is. We all know that everything is found within, and we should live internally out, not externally in. However, people that are not awakened to this and people that are not, don't understand how it works will still continue until they do to live from the external. They'll still seek from outside of themselves to fill all those wants, needs, voids, insecurities, safety blankets, comfortable things, whatever, okay? Their fears, basically. They will still seek externally for that until they learn to go inside. And when that happens, they will project their shit onto other people, because what happens is, and sorry, there's no other word, I have to say shit, because that's what it is. I could say they're fucking shit, because that's what it is a lot of. At the same time, the person that's going through this, that they're doing this to, can only be in that situation if they've allowed themselves to be in the first place and continually. So we all have choices, and we can all, doesn't matter what choice we made, we all fuck up, we all stuff up, we all choose things that, we all make decisions at the time out of fear or for other reasons. And we make those decisions, and then we think, all of a sudden we become awakened to a lot of other stuff, and we learn, we grow, we heal, we evolve, we ascend, and all of a sudden, we're not that person anymore. And in terms of our fears, and we've cleared out so much, and then we realize that, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that really, but hang on, I've got a whole different perspective of that now, and I don't have those fears, or those insecurities, or those lack of worthiness issues and things. And so we all fuck up, and again, there's probably no other word for it, I have to say it. And it's not about how bad you do that, or how bad you fuck up, or if it's a little bit, or it's nothing. It's all just 3D irrelevant crap. It really is. It's all just physical physical plane, low mentality, vibrational stuff that we've all been on and we've all made choices from. What happens is, the main point is where we are now, and getting past that, and forgiveness, and forgiveness on both parties and both sides. If you've hurt people or hurt your loved one or whatever, I mean, heck, I have. Like, I've changed tremendously in how I viewed things, to back then to how I view things now, and it's just about compassion and I can't get my words out. It's the second video I've done today. Compassion and love, unconditional love, and in my, like, I'm coming. This can be from anything, but I'm coming from the point of view, I guess, of my journey, my twin flame journey with my beloved. I've fucked up too, and pretty badly in lots of ways sometimes. But I forgive myself, and one day I hope he'll forgive me too. But and I forgive him. He's fucked up with things with me too badly, and I've forgiven him. And work through that as well. And it's it's a two-way street. This journey is not no matter whether you're on this twin flame path, or if you're just in a karmic relationship, or just a friendship or family member, it doesn't matter what it is, it's always a two-way street. And so the bottom line is that it's, when you do get to the place of that forgiveness and not blaming yourself and not allowing others to shame you. So shame and guilt are two of the lowest vibrational frequencies on the planet. And when you're operating from any shame or guilt, like, it can be really difficult to shift out of that, and see your value, your worth, and your beautiful divine sovereignty and light that you are. And I know that because I've been there. So, but one thing I just wanted to say is that this is all a lot more simple than what people make out. It's a lot easier and simple if we just don't resist. If we don't go into the fear-based mode with everything, and if we don't resist, and if we allow, and if we really go with our guidance, if we don't let our ego take over. So when we're operating from our heart and soul, and our ego will still try and have a crack every now and then, but when we're operating like that, and we know, now I know what you're trying to do. Or when someone comes in with their ego, because remember, just because you're operating from your heart and soul, because you've done a lot of work and you've grown and you've evolved, and it doesn't mean that everyone around you is going to have done that. So that means that they're still operating from that ego place, possibly just like you were, like back then before you have grown and evolved. So, but the beauty of doing that and knowing your own worth and soul and purpose and who you love and who you're here to be with, or whatever the case may be, the beauty of that is you choosing you. Then you start to choose you, and you choose from your heart and soul unconditionally. And you don't choose it because you're trying to manipulate someone else or control someone else into thinking, oh, well, if I do this, they'll do that. You don't. You choose it for you. And, I know that that's something that a lot of feminine on this path that I'm on have done, in the past. They've always only chosen certain things, or to work on themselves, to get their twin to come into union or whatever. And I'm guilty of that too. I was guilty of that way back. But you have to come to this love and honor and respect and sacredness of yourself and your soul. And when you do that, you see how things change. So I did get a bit off track. And but Spirit is guiding me to just say, flow with it, beautiful one, and just share, divine one, and just share what I have. And, I have, I'm not going to launch into talking tongues. I've been doing that a bit lately, which is pretty super cool. And I started that back in December, and then it just started flowing. So I actually went, and I went out on the grass, and I always like touch and hug my palm, or a palm tree out there. It's so beautiful. That's how I ground and earth. And I do it nearly every day, and I did it a few weeks ago, and I just started pouring out with this ancient tongues, this ancient language that just flowed. Oh, and I wish I actually had, my phone to record it. But you're not really in the mind, you're not really in that zone to go, oh, I'll get because you're just speaking it out. So it's pretty super cool, and now it just sort of flows. It flows a lot, and with it comes a lot of activation. So what I was doing when it was flowing, totally gone off the track again, but I just want to tell you guys this, as it was flowing, it was, I could feel I was activating things in the earth that were coming up through the palm tree. And as I was speaking, it was like this gurgling sound coming up through the tree. And I could feel the vibration moving. And it was, I could see, Spirit was showing me the grid. And I was being shown, because I am a gatekeeper and grid keeper and grid worker, and same thing. And so I was being shown what I was doing, what I was activating underneath Mother Earth, and it was just really, really cool. I'm fascinated by this journey. I just love it, and I'm just so happy to be on Earth and doing this work. I haven't always felt that, really haven't, and I feel like I've been through a lot of stuff in my life but hey, that's what I was here for. We go through on this journey, we go through a lot as opposed to others because twins are here, especially the higher ancient souls like us are here, the ancient pairs, to break down all that old slavery conditioning and paradigm and everything, like I was talking about. So we go through that process of different things to transmute and transcend that energy in those timelines, and we're here working as a team, as part of the awakening, and it's just so amazing. You sort of feel like you're a bit, you're superhuman. And we do have superheroes, superpowers. Superheroes we are, yeah, superpowers. So yeah, I got off track there, but I guess Spirit wanted me to travel there because, again, it shows you, if you're still listening to this, the importance of everybody being here in their own lane, for their own mission and their own purpose. Every soul's different, and if you are here with a soul partner, soul connected partner, remember that is you as one in two bodies, playing out the divine masculine and divine feminine energies in the divine masculine feminine physical body. So it's when you're here with that and your soul is coming together in the physical to be an activation through your love, it's just the most beautiful thing. Like, to just think that the love of the two of you, the one soul and the two of you together, is just so incredible. And I just don't have words for it to go into how incredible it is, in terms of I need to find another word, Callie, but it's this whole huge what it's doing, so the light that the couple hold is just magnanimous. It's just incredible. So with that being said, you're activating, and there's lots going on, whole bigger picture. And this is why it kind of is really important to not listen to what other people that are outside of all that may be just young souls here on their journey for their own personal soul evolution. Some people that cross our path, they're not here for a bigger picture. They're not here with this love. They're not here to be a leader or a light worker or a starseed, of any kind. So they could just be here as a young soul that is just come in to our life or energy to help us grow and to help us look at our shit and to help us dig deep and work through our stuff to get us to where we need to be. So yeah, I mean, I just, I didn't think I was going to go in any of that direction, but again, Spirit had other plans. I guess I was meant to, but yeah, so I just thought it was going to be a 10-minute IGTV one, but guess not. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just please know that, yeah, if you are struggling with any of this, or it's more so, I think a lot of you are already there, and you already know that, but I think it was just kind of, Spirit was showing me it's like to get people just over the line, as in have that awareness that when someone approaches you that you think might have your best interest at heart, or you think is a dear friend or whatever, and you don't want to disappoint them, or you don't want to, which is number one, don't ever worry about disappointing somebody else. It's about what's right for you first, okay? Personal boundaries. But also just see through that so you can see the bigger picture. And if you, because you get to read people and you read their energy, and you get to know exactly why they might be responding that way to you. You can see exactly what their needs are that they want and they're trying to get from you. And manipulation of energy, that's what humans actually do, because we have been, like, right from the day when all the slavery templates started, it was all about, it's the same as why they introduced religion like they did, and not that I'm getting into religion, but that way, because it was all about giving our power away to somebody else. It was never about showing us that what power we have within, because if we know the power we have within, then that whole template would never work. There would never be any of that control amongst humanity, because we know how powerful we are. So all this old pattern conditioning, programming, mind control, all of that's played out from all this time, is all collapsing. But people, as again, will still be in those lower vibrationals and tuned in and hooked up to that, and hooked up to those entities, using them as a host and coming through them. And so this is why you have to really be aware that that person that's doing this to you, or saying this, or trying to put you off track, or trying to say, no, don't do that, or come on, you'd be better doing this, or whatever, or or putting down the person, that you, I don't know, that's what's going on with, whatever the situation may be. It might even be trying to say, no, don't leave your job, or don't go there, or don't do this, or don't move away, or whatever it is. The person that is doing that, just be mindful and look through of why they're doing it for their own reasons. So, you might get some people that'll say, yeah, go for it. Great. I'm so glad you're happy. Off you go, There are some people out there that do that. But, the bigger picture, there usually is others that can interfere and veer us off path, because we might be making choices and decisions that they don't like, that doesn't fit in with what they need and what they want, and what's happened. So it's an interesting journey in just life in general, and this, we're here, especially with all the different dynamics and things that are happening. And like I said, in the other movie, there's young souls, and not all are here for a specific mission or purpose. Some are here just for their own soul evolution, but old souls like us that didn't have to come to Earth, that are doing this and specifically here to help humanity in this way through our love. It's just different. So, but I'm so honored to be on this journey and this sacred path, and to all my beautiful divine masculines and feminines out there, just keep at it, as in just, just honor and respect and love yourself, and just keep going deeper and just balance those energies. There's amazing divine intervention at the moment worldwide with everything. So there's huge, it's a whole other video I could get into, but I've seen huge galactic support and ships. And you know, for those that have been following me for a while, you know that I've been working with the Arcturian ET race, beautiful race, since 2015, and I do a lot of healing and grid work with them for Mother Earth. So lots happening. I'm just so excited. I wouldn't, in terms of what I do, and the love, and I feel so blessed to have this beautiful love with my beloved, and just incredible energy, you know, that we have between us. And you know, it's just a beautiful time on earth when you can really awaken to this, and yeah, and get the bigger picture of it all. So rambling again, but guess it was meant to be said. All right, guys, I'm gonna go now, and